thing like dynamic generation of the keys. So many a times we need to generate the surrogate keys, right? So we already discussed about surrogate key generation in earlier videos also, but let's see this again, right? So whenever we do the ab initio processing, so let's say we need to generate a sequence numbers. So it could be for the target database, load, or maybe internal processing. So sometimes we need to assign some numbers, right? And that should be unique. So that's when uh, we need to generate the numbers and we need to do other processing on top of it, right? So if we are processing the data in batch graphs, we just use a next in sequence and it will assign the number in sequence, right? Incremental numeric numbers, and it is going to be unique because it's a constant. It's a depending on the data arrival. A number of times it will be called. So this will give the particular number, right? And then if you want to store that number, highest number, in some lookup, right? That also can be done, and that from that, I mean, if it needs to be, stored and need to be live within two processing, right? Today or tomorrow. So what we can do is next the highest value we can store it in the lookup, and then that maximum lookup last or maybe the max value we can use tomorrow, and then we can overwrite it, or how we can try to use the lookup so that it can be saved in some place, right? And if it is in the database table loaded, so we can we can query the database from join with db or any other way, and we can unload that value and then try to increment from that value onwards, right? So that is how we do in the way in batch graph. Similarly, there is a parallel processing. So next in sequence is the property of next in sequence is like within a component. So if you call it multiple times, so this number is going to be different, right? So if you called once, then if you are calling second next time next in sequence, it will give another number, right? Incremented number. So because in parallel processing, so there are a number of partitions basically. So if you try to use next in sequence, so there so okay, so there will be a duplicate, there won't be unique key, so it will generate the number, but it won't be a globally unique for all the across the partitions, because because every partitions are isolation, runs in isolation, right? They are independent within a component. So therefore, it is generate the unique key for a particular partition, not for all the partitions. So therefore, we have a function. If you do this function in this particular way, so it will assign the particular number uniquely. So, but if this depends on skew of the data. If it is evenly partitioned, all the numbers, then it will assign the number in conjugation. Otherwise, always it will going to be a unique number. But if the skew is there in the data within the different partitions, then there will be a no, conjugation will not be there. Globally, there will be a uniqueness, but the conjugative numbers will not be appearing because you have the skew, right? So, you can use this formula for creating the unique numbers. Okay, and there are other different ways database sequences can be used. So we have used in Oracle and SQL servers. So we can use the database sequence number. Okay, we define or DBA, or while creating the physical data model, we define the sequence for a particular table, and then we try to increment that value whenever the new record is getting inserted. So we can query the sequence and assign that number. Okay, right? And then there is an automatically, there are fields if you assign some properties while creating the tables. So we don't have to maintain it, so it will be automatically incrementing, right? So if you define If you talk about SQL Server, so when you create the table, so there is an auto increment, property for a particular column. If you assign insert anything into this table, so ID will be auto incremented by one, or okay. So this kind of record would be generated, and uniqueness is guaranteed in the while inserting in these tables. Okay, automatically you don't have to do anything. And then there are, if you talk about Oracle, this is SQL Server. I think this is in Oracle. So if you talk about Oracle database, so there are different ways in across the databases, especially RDBMS. You have different ways to create the auto incremented way. And in identity column in the Oracle, and also we can use the sequence in Oracle. And okay, so this is how we generate the number of unique number, you know. So also you can talk surrogate keys, right? So that is also can be generated while using these kind of technique. So if you have any other ways in mind, so you can comment it in the video section. Okay, thank you so much.